in a do-or-die game like this for your squad, not only to come out with a win, but to do it in this fashion? What do you think it says about your group?
Just that we were, ready to fight, ready to extend our season and get our spot in the playoffs. Nobody wanted to go home today, so thought we just came out and played really motivated.
Well, you said it the other night in Philadelphia, like you had to play better tonight. You knew that. Just how much of an urgency was there to do that from the jump and set the tone really in the paint?
Yeah, just great players. You got to respond. That's what they pay you to do. You can't just settle for subpar performances. Especially in situations like this, do or die, win or go home. Got to show up for your teammates and set the tone. And so, I thought I did that. I thought, Jalen did that. I thought Anthony Black, Desmond Bain, everybody. I thought we all set the tone coming in. Wendell hitting 2 threes. I think it was just a full team effort.
Paolo, kind of to Beatty's point, after the loss to Philadelphia, you said that the basketball gods don't reward you for being indecisive, but how would you say that your performance tonight was based off of a proactive mindset, maybe instead of being reactive and just, staying aggressive?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, like I said, hesitation doesn't get rewarded. And, I just wanted to come out and take whatever I wanted, in terms of not necessarily just letting defense kind of trick me into, doing what they want. If they're backing up, I'm still going to drive the ball and make them have to react instead of just falling into their trap. And then when I want to shoot the three and I feel good about it, I'm going to take the three. And so just being confident, being decisive, and not hesitating, I think that was the main things tonight.
What do you think of the defensive contributions of Desmond Bain? Obviously, Coach mentioned he 50-50 balls. He obviously had the tie-up with Miles there. What did you think of the way he impacted the game on that end?
Yeah, he's just one of those players. He's the first on the floor. He's never afraid to get his hands dirty, get on the floor. He's in there scrapping for rebounds, picking up on defense. And that's just, says a lot about him as a player and as a person, to be able to, obviously everybody knows what he do offensively, but, he's not afraid to, put his head in there on defense and, make, game-changing plays. I think another play he had was when he stole the ball from LaMelo, I think in the third quarter, when they got it down to like 22. That could have been a game-changing play if they come down and score right there or whatnot, and he was able to create a turnover and us get a bucket on the other end. So he was great defensively, and he's just a leader on the team.
You mentioned all the players who helped set the tone in this game. Knowing how the other games in this series went during the regular season, how vital was it to kind of put your foot down and kind of put a physical stamp on this game from the very start? Yeah,
no, we knew that we were going to be able to, or if we were going to be able to win the game, it was going to have to be by, being extra physical and setting the tone with the physicality. We know that they're a team that, loves to run, play offense, shoot a lot of threes, and that gave us a lot of problems in the regular season. So I think just us learning from those games that we lost to them in the regular season and coming in with a plan of, this is different, this is a playoff environment, and, we got to set the tone on our home floor.
Talking about the playoff environment, you guys dominated in every aspect tonight, but going forward, how much confidence does this give you guys, knowing what it takes to be successful in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think just as a good feeling, good momentum builder. But, it's a new team that we have to face, new opponent, different style of play. And so we just got to get ready for that series against that team. But, yeah, I think everybody's confident. This was a good performance, but, we're on to the next now, which is Detroit.
Paolo, we're not going to see you or your teammates tomorrow because it's a travel day. So what does your team need to do to make that a series and potentially come out on top?
Yeah, I think just matching Detroit's physicality. I think that's their calling card. They're probably one of the most physical teams in the NBA. They play defense. Offensively, it runs through Cade, Duren, pick and roll, and they got good, role guys around those two. So got to come in locked in on the personnel and just be ready for a 48-minute fight. It's gonna be a dogfight. Expect nothing less. So excited for it and just ready to step up to the challenge.
Paolo, you mentioned that great players step up when it's time to be great, but great players also, when they're underdogs in series or counted out against, they do special things. So what is your mindset when you look at this Detroit team and going into that series?
Yeah, just one game at a time. Obviously in the position we're in, we got to win on the road to win the series. So that's something that I think we all understand, and I understand. And so I think, stepping into Detroit for these first two games, we got to be focused. We got to win a game on the road. We haven't in the past 2 years in the playoffs, and so if we want to get over the hump, it's going to take winning on the road to do it. So we got to be extra focused and together to get that done.
Paolo, with the points in the paint margin, you guys dominated right out of the gates. You talked about your own decisiveness already, picking your spots, when to drive, but what was it about the full team's focus tonight between the ball movement and the aggression attacking the rack that just led to so many drive and kicks in sync for this team?
Yeah, I think that's one of our strengths is just when we're able to get in the paint and create from there. And I think we all know that. We've talked about that as a team, and I think we were just, relentless with that tonight. Myself, Franz, Wendell on the boards, Goga on the boards. It was just, a complete effort from the whole team. And, if we're able to dominate the paint like that, we give ourselves a real good chance to win. And